Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Welcome to another episode of Rock the Mic. This evening, we have a very special guest. And this evening's interview should shock some people. Some people may be surprised. Some of you may be dismayed. But this interview is going to show the frailty of the human being and how people can get swayed. Not to quote scripture, but in some instances, we can say, the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. And after we're finished with this, I'm sure a lot of you are going to harken back to 1 Corinthians 15, verses 8 and 10, and just paraphrasing for you there, but for the grace of God, go I. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Mr. Donald Pottinger. Donald, glad to have you on this evening, man.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Okay. Well, guys and girls, the name Pottinger shouldn't be strange to anybody from St. Mary. We all know this family. But this guy has a unique story, a very unique story. Donald has finally decided to come clean with his experiment in drugs. So here we go. Yes, Donald. So let's hear this. You have been a user of what? What drug have you experimented with?
I started out with marijuana at a very early age, from say around 13 years old. But then I at the age of 19, I started to experiment with cocaine, crack cocaine. And the honeymoon period in using the crack cocaine was very short. By about the 6th month of periodically using, I was a full-blown addict. And then for the next 30 years, I became a full-blown crack cocaine addict on the streets of Jamaica, in and out of my parents' life, in and out of jails, in and out of institutions, and just my life became a mess.
All right, hold on there. You say you started using marijuana. So marijuana was your gateway drug, right?
Well, yes, if you could say that. I mean, that is how clinicians and psychologists would say that is the gateway drug. It starts with a cigarette and a marijuana and you graduate. However, some people don't go that route. But for me, that's the route I went.
All right. So what led you to this? Was it friends, bad company, or you just wanted to try and fit in with a certain crowd? What was it?
I tell you, I've asked myself all these years, and I tell you, it definitely wasn't friends. Because none of my friends used drugs. They want to spliff now and again, but none of my friends really used drugs. And I couldn't say it was peer pressure or anything. Personally, I believe that personally, my I was going through self-esteem issues, self-confidence issues, and just not having a sound spiritual base. Yeah, I used to go to church. Yeah, I used to read the Bible. Yeah, but did I actually hold on to a spiritual base? No. So that just sent me. I started to use to heal it. Go ahead.
To heal that point. So at the time, most people start out early and they graduate. But did you think at the time that it was something that you could stop at any time? Did you feel that you were in control of this whole thing?
Yes, and for the next 30 years, I thought I could. That is the thing with this drug. You always think this is the thing with the addiction. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. So I would stop for 2-3 days and I'd say, okay, I have $10,000. Let me go use $500 and I'll be all right. And I end up every time using the whole $10,000 and even having to beg the dealer bus fare to get home. I couldn't even make it home. You know what I mean?
Oh my God. All right.
It consumes you.
At what point At what point did you know you were in trouble? At what point did you know you had a serious problem?
Wow, very early. I mean, I was in trouble immediately, Mr. Waller. I mean, seriously, this drug is so intense, and my parents and my whole entire family noticed the behavioral change. Things were missing around the house. I started stealing, and then I knew then I was in trouble. But then there was nothing. This is like a runaway train. There was nothing I could do about it. I saw my life. It was like an out of body experience, watching you destroy your own life
Watching.
and
Okay.
not being
Okay.
able to stop.
Mhm. Wow, that is real deep, man. That is real deep. The way this thing gets a hold of people. So,
Consumes you,
mhm.
consumes your every being. This is the demon of all demons. I really truly believe that.
All right.
And
So,
mhm.
Donna, let me ask something. Okay, you're giving me the point of view from the drug addict. How do you think the dealer looks at it? How does the dealer view you? Does he just look at you as a source of money or what? Is there any
Well,
sympathy from the dealer?
today my mom and my parents and my brothers and sisters would be like, they see I'm in the streets and people call to me, and some of them are dealers, and they know my parents are very angry, and like my siblings are very angry with dealers. What I say is, if there were no users, there wouldn't be any dealers. Vice versa. You understand?
Okay,
And
okay,
dealer
okay,
never
good.
came to my house. He
Mhm.
never came to my home and gave me drugs. I sought him out.
You saw them.
So therefore, he's hustling. He, in his mind, he is making $1 for his family. If you want to be
Mhm.
weak and be a junkie, I'm here to supply your
So,
needs. So I
okay.
really supply and demand is business, and they are in that
Oh, okay,
kind of business,
okay.
and we
You
help them in their business.
you say it in a unique sort of way, but most people wouldn't be honest enough to say that. But in Jamaica, how available is something like cocaine? I mean, weed grows wild, but how available is the cocaine?
Oh my Lord. You only need to do this. Just look at every police station in Jamaica. Trust me.
Uh-huh.
And there's a in the major towns, and there's a coke dealer close by. I, I leave it there. Serious. No, serious. All the bases in Jamaica, no joke. Ocharius police station, they can look and see us light our coke pipe in the bus park.
Wow.
Negril, same thing. Montego Bay, same thing. And I could go around the whole island of Jamaica. Coke is readily available in every parish. Might not be in every town,
Hmm.
but at least 3 towns in every parish has a dealer. That's the
Or
truth.
let me ask you this. How much money do you think you'd spend on a daily basis? Did you take a hit every day, or was it every other day, or
Okay, there's a
when the money was
saying,
available?
Mr. Waller, there's a saying in the rooms of recovery that one is too many and 1,000 never enough.
Wow.
So this is not a drug that
Repeat
you
that.
can.
Repeat that for me.
One is too many and
Mm-hmm.
1,000 never enough.
Never enough. Okay.
That is the intensity and of this drug that we're dealing with. You always think you could use one, but you will end up as however amount of how much money you have at the time you're using
Hmm.
is how much you will use. You use until because you don't sleep. It does make you sleep, it does make you want to eat. So you will
Okay.
use until you are exhausted and you just fall asleep. So I've been up for like 2, 3, 4 days, no
Wow.
sleep. And then so when you sleep is when you actually, and then you eat and you say, what have I done? I've stolen so much money, I've used how much money, I haven't got a cent, everybody looking for me, and that's when you go through that depression. And then when you go through that intense depression, the only thing that picks you up is the drug.
It's
So
another hit.
you're depressed, you hurt, you hurt the people around you, everybody vexed with you, you're in a lonely place, you're hurting, you run back to the dealer. That's because that's the refuge. That's where all pain
Refuge.
cease. One
Refuge.
rock on the pipe, everything is glorious for that
Was
minute.
there ever, wait, Donald, was there ever a time when you thought maybe you may die? Did you ever give thought to that, or it just didn't matter to you?
Yeah, that's I felt not I not only felt like I would die, I felt like I wanted to kill myself at many times. Because to come out of this misery, you feel okay, you're not you see, this thing consumes you. You know you're better than this, but you can't help yourself. You're trying to help yourself, and you say, "Today I will not use. Today I'm not going to do." Okay, Dad, Mom, I'm going to do some work, and I'm good, good, good. I almost made it for 24 hours, and on the 23rd hour, or the 23rd and a half hour, you go and you relapse and you use, and everything comes tumbling down again. And that was my life. It was so I would make a day or two, I'd show sometimes a week, and my parents, oh God, and everybody start feeling good again, and then whoops, they left their handbag careless, or they left their phone careless, or they
Mhm.
left some money unattended. And at that time, the demon jumped in me. It never jumped in me before for what day one, day two, three. But then it just that urge came, and it just consumed me, and I was off again. And this was my life for 30 years.
30 years. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we're here speaking with Mr. Donald Pottinger, and he's outlining to us his addiction and his path to recovery from crack cocaine. So, Donald, in all your escapades and your adventures with cocaine, what's the worst thing you would say you have done? Is it
Wow.
stealing or what?
It's so much. Stealing is an everyday occurrence for an addict. Seriously. So stealing is coming like that is just top shelf. I mean bottom shelf stuff.
Bottom shelf.
You
Mhm.
know. You see, an addict, my brother, this is why a lot of people will not can see someone intelligent destroying them life. It gives a lot of anger because there's nothing an addict won't do to satisfy his his urge
It's
to use
craving.
drugs.
Mhm. Mhm.
Fortunately, I've had a family and real good support. My brothers and
Yeah.
sisters.
Wait. Hold on. We're coming to the family. Hold on. Don't jump
Okay,
the gun yet.
so I'm saying to you, the worst thing I've ever done.
Mhm.
I can't even disclose it on here.
All right.
Seriously, you know what
That
I mean?
was
But
real bad then.
but
All right.
but
Mhm.
suffice it to say, I've done a lot of horrible things, and and so I've done a lot of horrible things to myself and to others, and for that, I live daily trying to make amends and
Trying to make
trying
amends.
to
Okay.
yes.
Yes. For those of us who haven't used drugs, that urge to use, what is it like? Let's compare it to say the urge to eat, the urge for
Ah,
sex,
good
the urge
good
for sex.
analogy.
What
Very
is
good
that urge
analogy.
like? How does it compare to those, biological urges?
I I always say to the dealer, it's a joke on the base. I say the drugs call me like how food call me. Like I would like you're hungry all day and you need some food, and the hunger gets intense as the food is far away. You
Mhm.
drink little water, you eat twice a minute, but the hunger's still there.
Hunger is still there.
That
Mhm.
is what the urge to drugs is. It is there and you feel it in your stomach to the point that you even want to go use the bathroom. That's how it is. The
Wow.
physical urge is so intense that you have bowel movements, you want to free your bowels, you want to pee, you start sweating, heart beating a little faster, start sweating. My mom would be, she would be the one to describe it because she talks about it all the time. I know when you're there on it, I know when you're off to it, I
All
can
right.
just see
Yeah.
your speed.
That's something else I want to ask you. There are some drug users who are functional addicts. They can hide it well. Are you saying that you couldn't hide it?
Definitely couldn't hide. I'm not that type of addict. I know a few. that can go
Mm.
unused today, and they are few and far between. I know
Between.
a
Okay.
few. To be quite honest, sometimes I used to envy them, seriously,
Oh, okay. Okay.
because I used to ask them, so how you do it? I have never brought drugs home and fallen asleep and woke up to find some on my table. It has to be finished. So, and
Okay.
however long it took to be finished was
Mm.
however long I would be up. Some people can actually do that. That was impossible for me.
All right. From deep down in that user, what does an addict feel? Is it rage? Is it self pity? Is it rejection? Does he believe he is misunderstood by the people around him? What goes through your mind?
Wow, during, you see, in order for me to get clean, I had to become graphically honest with myself. So all the questions you put to me were my excuses throughout the years. Those were what I held on to stay addicted.
Stay
So
addicted.
whatever excuse, I blame my family, blame my relationship with my dad, I blame my relationship with my little toe, I blame my relation. Do you understand?
I
You
get what you're saying.
blame and blame and blame. The only way so those were all excuses, Mr. Waller. I could sit here and say, well, it was this and it was that, but in coming clean, I had to recognize that none of those things mattered. What matters is getting clean, and getting clean was down to me.
All right.
And yeah, go ahead.
You sound like you, all right, you had a great family support around you. No, for other people who are in this problem, other families, how should the family deal with it? Listen, should they have
All right.
pity? Wait, hold on. Should they have pity? Should they try and enable the person to prevent them from, say, stealing, going out there and doing bad things? Or should they enforce tough love? What worked best with you?
All right. My parents throughout the years tried a combination of things. They haven't gotten tough love down to the T yet, because that's difficult.
Mhm.
However, tough love is the way and only way to go. My parents, when they found it difficult to take out a restraining order on me to come to my yard, my
Mhm.
brothers and sisters took on that challenge.
Okay.
When I was Christmas time come and I was unable to come to my yard for Christmas dinner, and when I turn up, them run come give me a plate of food and usher me back through the gate.
Wow.
Those things hurt, but those
Yes.
things resonated in me.
Damn.
The way how people dealt with me out on the road,
Mhm.
diss me. Oh, Pottinger, cokehead boy, hey boy. You know them way there?
Yeah. How does
Those
it?
things.
Listen, listen.
Mhm.
Your family name, the name Pottinger.
Yeah.
Wait,
Everybody
wait, wait.
knows me.
That name
Everybody
carry
knows
a lot
me.
of
Yeah.
weight in St. Mary and on the North Coast. And to have
Mhm.
somebody say that to you, how did that make you feel?
My brother, I tell you something. Sometimes, I, drugs make you lose all shame. While you're using, business, you
Mm,
hear it, but you hear it so much it becomes a part of you.
a part of you. Okay.
You become the person who they're telling you are. So you become that cokehead, you become that man where I got bigger money, where I got thief for money. You take on the role of an
Mm-hmm.
addict. And those things, those negative words eat me, hurt me. And
Mm,
I became it, I lived it. However, it is in coming out of it that I recognize that those same people helped me. You see, the whole journey, honestly, sometimes I say, boy, I regret it. You know what I regret, Mr. Waller? Not so much what I did to myself, but the hurt I caused my parents.
they heard the cause
That
appearance.
my mother and my father are exceptional people. And I can tell you this. You know how some people would say, well, fathers this and it's the mother that do.
Mm,
Well, my mother was able to show tough love easier than my dad.
than your dad. Wait, did you
Yeah,
ever
and
wait, hold on. Did you as a drug addict ever learn to manipulate that
that's it.
dynamic?
So I played the whole system. I played it to the T till they started uniting now under one
Oh, okay.
common goal. You see,
Okay.
I would play split, divide, and rule. And you see,
Divide and conquer.
the addict is the classic psychologist, you know. Before I go beg a man a money, I know who going give me a money from who not going give me a
Not gonna
money
give you.
by the first words I utter from that. So, but from my see the reaction of the person when I approach them. I know whether I'm going to get the money or I'm not going to get the
Or
money.
not.
I wonder if you see what I'm saying. Because
Yeah,
you
yeah, what you're
study,
saying.
you listen to what people not saying when you're an addict.
Okay. Okay.
You've gone deep. You're surviving. So you see, if I use it in the rooms, they say if you use 10% of the energy that you use on drugs
Right.
to get
And
clean,
true.
you'll be all right. I walk from here so to Ocherios, from a Rockabesa to Ocherios.
What?
I walk from a Rockabesa to Ocherios.
Darn.
Because I go down the road at 1 o'clock in the morning and the drugs not there. This is like back in the day when hardly any taxi dep on the road. And no drugs not there Rockabesa, and me have my money in my pocket and me no see no car. And me I
Mm.
walk till me get a car. And when me reach White River, still no car and they light out, my brother.
What?
And they chop it same way for go Bugsfield, you know, remember?
That is a craving, man. That is a
Yeah,
craving.
it's intense.
At the start of the interview, you mentioned something about like jail. No,
Mhm.
you were actually arrested
Many times,
many
many
times.
times, beaten many times, robbed many times. But let me tell you about jail. Police in Jamaica know me in the 14 parishes. Believe you me. Sometimes I used to afraid for walk past police station because them say, come here, Mr. Pottinger boy. Where you do out here? Come, you need to come in here, so come off of the road. So I used
Okay.
to have to hide from them because they know me and they know
They know
what
you.
once they saw me out on the road at that hours, they just knew what I was up to.
Then you
So
was
they
up.
always want to get me off the road. You know what I mean? So
Okay.
it was difficult.
No, they say like an addict, so never, it's not easy for somebody to really bring them back. The addict has to want to change. Was that the case with you, or was it the outside influence? Was it
Yeah, don't definitely. You
was
know,
it
if it was
wait, what I'm
money,
saying, was it external or an internal desire to change?
it has to be internal. It can never be external. That's what kept me in addiction for 30 odd years because I was looking for an outside source. I know you're a man of God. So I'm going to go there. I was looking for this. I was looking for something, Jesus outside of me, something, a miraculous burning bush experience. Boop, and I would not feel urges again. Whoop, and I would be healed.
A
And
Damascus
believe me, I
moment,
went
eh?
to the churches. I went to
Mhm.
the churches. I got prayer. Let me go even further. I went to every possible healer, every possible traditional and non-traditional healers.
Non-traditional.
So you must know what that means, right?
Right.
So listen, there was nothing I didn't seek outside of myself
Mhm.
to come off of this thing. If it was money, oh God, my parents spent it. I went to rehab in Cuba, Trinidad, Barbados,
Dang.
everyone in Jamaica, seeing England. So rehab, and you know what, Mr. Waller, is not rehab. I made me come off this time or anything. All those rehabs, all those religious services, none of that helped me. It's when I started to really get graphically honest with myself.
With
When I
yourself. That,
started to ask myself the painful questions. When I started to not only ask them, but to answer them. You see, it's all good when you ask the questions, but to answer them honestly,
to them.
that's
Okay.
where the work starts. And so I am answering those questions honestly today. I am in the healing process. I lose some days and I win some days.
You win some.
But
Okay.
every day I don't use is a winning day for me.
It's a winning day.
But my
Okay.
emotions are all over the place. My parents will tell you. Sometimes they just shake their head, kiss them teeth, and just I mean that. And then just give me
Give you that.
time.
Give
You
you
know,
time. Okay.
it's just a healing process.
Okay.
It's what you know what I mean? It's
So
a journey.
what's your relationship now with like you and your siblings? You're the
I
youngest,
think-
right?
I- Mr. Waller, everybody I gonna say them brother and sister them are the best, you know. But me I
Mm,
tell the whole Jamaica, say my brothers and sisters are the best in the whole wide world. Seriously. My parents, there's none like them.
none like them.
Honestly, you know, my brothers and sisters, my parents, I lift my hand to them. They have brought us up in love and a love for people and a love for each other. And so the community spirit demonstrated by my parents is what is active in my home.
Okay.
They're looking out for each other, the camaraderie, the prayers, the family times, that is what is in my home. And
Okay.
my brothers and sisters ensure that. And we correspond every day. We
Every
talk
day.
every
Okay.
day, each and every one of us. I kind of have a sister right now that finds it a bit hard. Oh, that's Audrey. Everybody know
Yep.
Audrey.
Yep.
So everybody know. I have a sister that she kind of find it hard to deal with me
Mm,
so easy. Let's put it that way. But in time, we're working on it. But I know she love me
mm.
and me love her. But we don't talk every day.
You
Let's
don't
put it
talk
that way.
every day, but she's there for you in case
Man,
if you
she's
need
on the
her, she's
outside
there.
and she did it.
She is all
Mm.
right. All right. Another thing, how on this road to recovery, how bad is the temptation and what do you do to keep it away? What do you do to keep it down, to suppress
Okay.
those urges?
I have a routine. You see, in recovery, it's all about routines. And you have to
Routine.
formulate. So when you step outside of your routine, you know you have the danger signs, hold up. So I get up very early. If you get texts from me in the morning, so you get some text
Yep,
sometime
yep.
3, 4
Yeah, see.
o'clock in the morning.
And I'm
I wake
wondering
up at
why
3.
is he up?
Yeah, listen to this. I tell you what happened. I was when I started coming off drugs. My sleep pattern was disturbed, and I was asleep. I was sleeping well. So they prescribed these drugs. They said, Donald, you're bipolar, and they give me. You're off. Hello.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
Okay. Yes.
I was just
Sorry about that.
spotlighting you.
Yeah. So it's like they gave me these tablets. It says you're bipolar because you're not sleeping so much and this and that and this and that. So I would take these tablets, and when I was get up to go do my jogging and exercise in the morning, I would feel
Mhm.
groggy all day. So I
Okay.
stopped taking the medication. And what I did was when I started waking up at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, I saw that as a sign that the angels were waking me up to pray. And that's what I did. And that's what I started to do. I get up. If I get up in the morning and I look at my phone, it's always 3 after 3. And I embrace this time now. Before they were called concerned about my sleeping and all of these things.
Hmm.
No, that's my time with me and God. And I do that until it's light enough for me to go jogging. And then I go jogging, and then after that, my day can go anyway. Those two things is a must for me: my morning devotion and my jogging,
You're jogging.
and then
Okay.
my spiritual side and my physical
And the
fitness
and the
and so on.
and the,
Because when
and
I
okay.
jog and exercise, I feel high, but it's a different kind of
A
high.
different high. Yeah. Okay.
You know, but it releases the same. It releases the same chemicals that the drugs
Okay.
used to release, and
Okay.
only
Okay.
drugs and sex and food that do that stimulates the pleasure center in your head. You know.
Mhm. So let me ask something now. On the road to recovery and trying to stop using, what's your relationship with like you and say your pusher, the guys who would supply you?
Okay.
Do they come at you or do they leave
No
you
man,
alone?
you know what? The dealers, in Jamaica celebrating my recovery. They might not be
Uh-huh.
getting a lot of money from me, but I tell you, every one of them that I see, one of them stopped selling drugs. Him say, Potter, they call me Potter. Potter, me stop selling it, you know.
Okay.
Me so glad say you stop. I would never sell that again, my brother. Listen, this is why I want to speak about it.
Mhm.
I want people to understand that this thing is deep. You know, dealers, I have nothing against them. There's never one dealer that ever come to me and said, boy, Donald, here goes some drugs. You want us to come use some drugs? Everyone is saying stop. The addicts
Do
out on the
do they
road,
use? Do they use? Does
no,
a
none of
dealer
them
use?
use. None of them use. None of them use. They know how wicked it is. None of them use. And the
Oh,
addicts
okay.
on the road, they are. I see them still, and I go alongside them. I don't pass them. I just don't give them money. I'll buy
Okay.
them food. I'll buy them things, and I
Okay.
slap and tap with them and just encourage them
All right.
because somebody came alongside me and encouraged
And
me. You know
encourage
what
you.
I
Okay.
mean?
Okay.
So I continuously encourage. Piniras,
Yeah, man. Baga. Mhm.
Charles Lawrence, Eggy
Yeah,
Guy.
man. Yeah,
I
man.
want
Mhm.
big up them you there. Me
All
want
right.
big them man, they don't leave me.
That's friendship.
Piniras, don't leave Donald Pottinger from me a little boy till now.
That's
Till
Pini,
this
man.
day.
That is
Piniras don't leave Donald
that
Pottinger. Eggy Guy don't leave Donald Pottinger.
good,
Them
good,
man, they
good.
come beside me. Hey, Clements Park, Port Maria, you, Mr. Waller, you are etched in the annals and the history of St. Mary.
No, no.
Yeah?
Hey,
Remember
listen,
that.
listen,
I
Donald, we
know you
keep
don't
this on
want to
you.
do that.
This is 40 years ago. And you're
I'm
real,
telling
man.
you, it still lives in me and many other people. We talk about it all the time. Our age group people talk about this all the time.
Ah,
You guys
all right.
really did us
Thanks,
proud.
thanks for the compliment, sir. Thanks for the compliment. But Donald, let, let me say this. Listen, at the start, before we went on the air, I was observing the relationship with you and your mom, and I can see that love. I can see that closeness. I can see how she is still watching over you. Do you think she has that fear that you may slip back?
Oh gosh, up to yesterday, I was saying to mom, I saw the fear in her eyes, and I said, Mom, I still feel like using sometimes. And I saw her, and I said, I want to tell you that because I don't want you to think that everything is hunky dory. It never
Mm,
is. But what I want to tell you is that the resistance and the energy to resist is much greater than the
much
need to
greater.
use. So what I'm saying is, my mother, I know a lot of my religious friends will not like what I have to say when I say this. My mother is the closest thing, the closest representative to God in my life. My mother
What?
has been
No,
to
people won't be
God.
angry.
My
People
mother
won't
has
angry.
been, huh?
People won't be angry with you. A lot of people feel that way about their
Okay.
mom.
My
I
mother has
felt that
been
way about my mom.
feeding and clothing and taking care of me all my life, even to this day,
Mhm.
where she's still there. I don't even want to imagine my life without my mother because may I tell you, she was the one that the love that of her is the one that keeps me grounded, that keeps me when I feel urges and those things. She's the
Mhm.
first picture that comes in my head and my heart and in front of me. How
Yeah,
could I do this to this lady again?
I was listening to the way you talk to her, and I'm like, wait, this big man still, mama, mama, mama. You notice I was laughing.
Yeah.
I said, oh my God.
Yo, that's my day. That's my God. My lady, my heart. I don't know. It's hard to say my God, but you know what I'm talking about. It's
I know
deep
it.
in me and my mom.
I know what you mean, man. But
It's deep
Donald,
in me and my mom.
listen, man. Another thing I want to find out before we end this thing.
Wrap up.
Listen, I've always thought that, hey, you have a relative using, why not just lock him up in the house away from everything? Just lock him up so he can't leave.
I
How would
can
that
I
work?
can take you to a room. I can take you to a room right now.
Mhm.
That should try that too. There is nothing my family never tried. The room I stay in was grilled and locked. My helpers used to carry my breakfast every day. And I was in there for 3 months. But the moment the door was open, I was back on it. You see, the change has to come from within.
From
You
within.
have to, you have to, you have to be released from the jail within. All those outside things, you can lock away from it. Them can carry you to church and you sing an hallelujah all day. But if
Yeah.
you don't change
Oh.
inside, all that thing is just external foolishness. So listen, Mr. Wall, I go in church and hallelujah to and then
Mm.
pray for me. I mean, me drop down to and catch fit. People are gonna laugh and catch fits and go on like all them things that When the people them start cast out, I used to shit afraid to go to churches in St. Mary because when them come and catch me and start pray for demon and rag me around the church for the whole day, me feel shame. By the time I go home, me don't want to go back there again. Because me feel like I'm the worst person in the world. How
Yeah.
so much demon can come out of one man?
In a legion.
You understand what I'm saying? And it's like so weird. Me just a walk around with all of them demon and so. I mean I wonder how me full of so much demon. And every
Right.
church me go, them expel demon again. The next week is the same thing. So
Same
me say
thing.
me just demon so. So one
Boy.
at a time now, me say, all right, look, no, listen, low them people, Start check yourself. So it's checking myself now. I stop condemning myself. That's where the victory was won, I started accepting myself, all my idiosyncrasies, all my faults, all shaped who Donald Pottinger is, and somebody out there like him for all of those things.
Mhm.
And I started to love myself for just being all of that.
Let me, Donald, man, it's been nice talking to you.
Thank you,
Honestly,
sir.
it's been nice. This has been
Keep
a
the thing.
revealing chat for me also. And I must commend you on your bravery, your forthrightness in coming forward, because not many people would want this known. Honest to God, not many. If I were in your position, I don't think I could do it. But I'm hoping that this will help some people who may be in your position or have a loved one who has been in your position. And I'm hoping that we can do this again. I'm
Yeah,
hoping
man,
we can.
Mr. Waller, I tell you
We
the
can do
truth.
part
Mr. Waller, that was our intention. That was my intention when you spoke to me. And for
two.
this interview, we wanted to open up so people can see the other side of darkness. Because sometimes we're just talking about all the good things.
Yeah,
But we
sometimes
need
we
to
gloss
talk
over the.
about the things, the raw things, things that, the dark side too. And I really appreciate it. And I hope that a lot of people out there heard something, a message in it is in it for somebody. And continue to pray for me, the whole St. Mary and the whole Jamaica.
We will, man. We
You
will.
know?
You're a son of the parish, so we will. And the Pottinger
Lovely.
name, we won't let we won't let you guys down. But
Thank you, sir.
Donald, thanks a lot, man. Thanks a lot,
God
and
bless.
say hello to to your mom and your dad again for me. And
Thank
we
you,
wish you
sir.
all the best. We are with you. Okay, buddy. Take care, man.
Bye.
All the best.
Peace.